Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It has been some time, and today I wanted to kind of do my annual, you know, there must, there can only be one video where I gotta part ways with one of my Garmin watches and hang on to the other. And as always, it is a tough choice, but one must go. So I'll first talk about the Fenix 7. So I've had this one now for, I don't know, I can't remember, maybe a year, a little less, maybe 9, 10 months or something like that. And I probably feel like I've worn this one more than my Instinct, and it's just an amazing watch. It really is. Like, it just does everything. The flashlight, the smart features, the touchscreen, which I never thought I would like, but I love the touchscreen on it. Well, I like the idea of both buttons and touchscreen. It's fairly comfortable. You know, it is a little on the heavier side. It is a little chunky, but it's okay. It's definitely wearable. You know, gosh, it just does everything. You know, all the tracking, exercise recognition, it just does everything. I mean, it's just a great everyday watch because of all the smart features. You can text, just emails, your calendar. You know, it's just like, I think it's like just an all-around good watch. It's got all the outdoor features, health features. Like, honestly, I just can't think of a better smart/fitness watch. I just can't think anything comes close to it. And I've never worn an Apple Watch, but I still don't think the Apple Watch can hold a candle to this Garmin. You know, it just does too much. I can't imagine a watch doing more. So very happy. Couldn't highly more recommend this watch. However, it does have one shortfall, and for that reason is why I'm getting rid of it. And it's really the same thing that I just continually experience with these Garmin watches, particularly the kind of the color display ones, and that's the display. It's it's legibility when you're indoors, kind of like what I call at idle. You know, when the backlight is not on and you're indoors, I just find it very hard to read. I really wish Garmin would fix that. You know, give the user an option to adjust the kind of the idle, you know, brightness. I would gladly sacrifice some battery life in exchange to be able to see this watch easier, without having to like flick my wrist or press a button. And that's where I struggle with this, is that ultimately, as much as I love all the fitness and smart features that it does, the primary purpose I wear this for is a watch, right? To tell time, see the date, you know, check some other stats, and that's, you know, we just can't see it. I mean, you have to really kind of make an effort to tilt it. It's just not as legible as, like, you know, Casio or even this Instinct, and that's why I'm choosing the Instinct over the Fenix, is that the display is just more legible. You know, that's just really what it comes down to. I mean, it's kind of frustrating because it's such a little petty thing, and I feel like it's so easily fixable, but I just don't know why they don't give the option to adjust your brightness. I mean, phones do it, computers do it, everything with a screen lets you adjust its brightness. But this one, for some reason, the idle display is just how it is, and maybe it's not possible. Maybe it's just how it is. You know, maybe it's also, I think, the sapphire crystal, perhaps. You know, I've never been a fan of these sapphire crystals. I actually don't like them. And also, it kind of frustrates me that in order to get titanium, you have to get sapphire, because otherwise I would take Gorilla Glass. Part of me thinks it could be the sapphire. It's been a long time since I've had a Fenix without sapphire, so I can't quite remember what that looked like, but I don't like the sapphire crystal at all. I mean, is it more scratch resistant? Sure, but you can easily throw a cover on it and you're fine. But yeah, I digress. But that's kind of, for me, the deal breaker is that I just can't easily read the watch when I'm indoors. You know, 90% of the time I'm looking at it is to tell the time. You know, I work in an office, so if I've got my hands on the keyboard, I'm just trying to kind of glance at the time. You know, like right here, you really you can't just tell the time. I mean, you can kind of see. You kind of really have to, like, you know, flick it, make it come on. But actually, let me see. Let's see if I can even give an example here. I don't know if it'll show on camera. I got a light overhead, so it's kind of hard to make this, but you can kind of, let's just see, you can kind of see at certain angles. I don't know if I can mimic it or not, so you'll just have to trust me, but at a very certain angles, when the light's not really hitting it, the instinct is just going to be more legible. Like maybe you can kind of see it right here. You know, like I can tell it's 9:14, where this one I kind of have to just kind of, you know, put a little more effort into it. And that's kind of what it comes down to me, is that it's just not as legible. And I hate to do it for that reason, but it really is 90% of my use cases telling time. So that's got to do that function well. So for that reason, I am going with the Instinct. Now, what am I giving up to go with the Instinct? Obviously, the color display, the touchscreen. For me, the touchscreen is probably the biggest. The color, I mean, it's a nice to have, but it's not necessary to me. I think it's not a big deal. Touchscreen it is, though, because I like to be able to quickly, you know, hit a shortcut and go right into it, you know, so, or scroll through your, you know, glances. So I do like the touchscreen is probably the biggest thing I'm gonna miss going to the Instinct. The other thing about the Instinct that I'm not a big fan of is its overall size. This is a 2X, so it's a little bigger. Especially these giant straps. I mean, 22 is plenty. 26 is just overkill. I mean, this is just gigantic. It makes the watch look chunkier than it already is. Having these giant, thick bands, I kind of find them hot, you know, just having all the silicone around your wrist is kind of hot. And then the watch itself is obviously a little bigger than I think it needs to be. I wish I would kind of shrink it down a little bit to make it more manageable, but at least it's light, so that kind of helps. But that's really the biggest thing you're giving up, or I feel like I'm going to miss over the Instinct, is a touchscreen and just a little bit of a, you know, a little bit more of a manageable size. But outside of that, I think, and some of the cycling features, you know, I do like the, you know, how you can divide the screen, get more data, and it has a lot of like the extra cycling features like endurance and stamina, things like that. But those are just nice to haves. But ultimately, what I'm gaining with it obviously is legibility, so I can easily see the time without having to, like, you know, maneuver my wrist around to see it. And then obviously battery life is amazing. It's obviously much better than this one, but this gets such good battery life that I don't really care. I'll charge this even when it's not even empty yet, you know, just to, you know, take it off my wrist for a while. Especially if I wear it in the shower, I'll drop it on the charger, let my hand kind of dry out. So amazing battery life. Obviously this one can go on, you know, forever, it feels like. But that is kind of what I'm going to be doing. So this one's going to be going off to a new owner. And then I think my next one is either going to be the Epics. I might give AMLET a try. Or if they come off a Fenix 8 or whatever, I'm definitely not getting Sapphire again. You know, as much as I love the titanium, you know, I'll take the extra gram or two of weight and try Gorilla Glass again, because I think the Sapphire does kind of ruin this display. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.